Hello, good afternoon, and welcome back. And maybe this is some good news that quotas are finally being seen for the law-breaking menaces that they are. Here we have from the Daily Mail a few hours ago. Physics graduate 25 who was turned down by a police force where his detective inspector father works for not being disabled, black, transgender or gay, finally gets offers a job. Matthew Furlong was rejected from his dream job with Cheshire Police Force. Tribunal found he was discriminated against for being a white heterosexual male, and he is now set to join the force following in the footsteps of his father. This was published at 11:55 a.m. today, so about 4.5 hours ago, and it was updated 40 minutes ago. So a police applicant who was rejected for being a white heterosexual male is now set to join the force after he was found to have discriminated against him. Matthew Furlong, 25, wanted to join, and I'm sure you see from this handsome young fellow that I'm sure there'll be... yeah, I'm going to make the joke. Quite a few females who wouldn't mind being put in handcuffs by him. Or males, you know, why not? Let's go both ways. Even if he's heterosexual, it doesn't mean he doesn't garner attention from both sides. Matthew Furlong, who has a degree in particle physics from Lancaster University, performed well in tests and interview, but the force was desperate for more recruits from ethnic and sexual minorities, so refused to hire him. Well, this is a big problem then, isn't it? That when you get rid of meritocracy and you say, hey, we don't really care how good you are for the job, we just care who has the right coloured genitals, you know, that kind of thing, then you face problems with these. And then, of course, you see increases in crime, and violent crime in particular, because you don't have police that are competent enough to do their job, because you're not hiring on how competent they are. So then you're wasting money, and you can blame austerity and Tory cuts as well, sure, by all means. But if you're spending the money that you are getting in just looking at diversity and then hiring people who aren't very good for the job just because they've got the right colour genitals, then you're only going to exacerbate the problem. But thankfully, finally, this should be the turning point, because things like this, when they come to prominence, show that quotas are a huge issue, as they do break the law. And that does create people, especially straight white men, who are disenfranchised with the system, not going to university even, because they know that they will be discriminated against for their unalienable characteristics. Similar to the story that we last covered about saying that, children are being bullied for their race. It's like, well, yes, and it gets even worse with the law and institutions where they actively discriminate against you based on your race and gender, sexuality, if you're a straight white male. So here we have them saying that Cheshire Constabulary Deputy Chief Constable Julie Cook said, "We accept the findings of the tribunal and have looked very carefully at our entire recruitment practice. Action has been taken to change some of our processes and take account of the hearing result. It's important for us and for candidates the recruitment process is fair and transparent and that all candidates are treated in a fair and consistent manner." Great, then get rid of your diversity hires. However, I would like to stress that these processes were put in place with the best of intentions to attract candidates from diverse communities and at no time with the standards of our recruits reduced. I find that very difficult to believe, but I do understand what they're getting at, and it is a good point that if you have troubled communities, and let's say they're black communities, because that's the most violent crime. I'm not saying it's a cause and effect, you know, but anyway, then if you were to have a load of white policemen in that area, then the black people think, oh, well, police are bad, they're just whiteys and honkies, and they're all here discriminating against us because we're black. But if you have black policemen in those areas, then it shows to the black youths that there is another option, and it isn't just gangs and violence, because there is a legal way for them to ascend. Even if the media do their worst to say, oh, they're discriminating against black, Asian, minority, ethnic, you know, the BAME people, then at least these people can see for their own eyes that there are actually legal ways to progress, which is important. Yes, I do understand. Mr. Furlong's lawyer said that it was the first reported case of its kind in the UK after the Employment Tribunal ruled Cheshire Constabulary used positive action, where employers take steps to recruit certain groups of people with different characteristics but in a discriminatory way. Yes, and it's odd with these positive action and affirmative action that they try and frame it in such a good way as like, feminism, you're for equality, right? Right? It's like, yes, that sounds fine. It's like, good, because we mean communism and equality of outcome. Everyone's the same now. It's like, hang on. No. Now you put it that way, I disagree with it. well, it's too late then, isn't it? But thankfully, you got some people who are maintaining law and order and actually trying to produce a fair and equal society for opportunity. So that is the English values, and I thought it worth mentioning a good news story. So thanks very much for watching. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.